Dandavas pranam Maharaj. Haribol.
Haribol, Dandavas. Nanda, Aditi Nanda, and Bhagavati Didi, Priyadarshini Didi, Priyanatma Didi, Haribol. Lakshmi.
How are you, Maharaj? Dandavas pranam ke chapu and devotee. Linda y Pragya. Dandavas.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Hare Krishna everybody, Dandvat Pranam.
Haribol, Pragya Didi. Bhaktalinda Hare Krishna.
Dandavat to all devotees and Maharaj. I will have to stay on silent as family are watching rugby.
Huh?
She put a message.
Oh.
Linda.
Oh.
She'll have to stay. She said Dandavat to all devotees.
Okay. Watching rugby. Evil. Okay. Can we read Vandana?
Yes, Maharaj.
Mandeham, Shri Guru, Shri Yuta Parta, Shri Guru, Shri Rupa, Sahagrata, Sahagana,
Krishna Chaitanya Deva Krishna Balam Sahagrata Krishna
Om
Puja Shri Guru Urva Vista
Satsupurakam.
Gurunaya Shisha Sabhushitam Cintya Samasavila Vipunam Sirupa Vantanurva
Opinda Vidam Ujvala Arantanum Bhaktinam Vande Vishwara Devam Divyatanam Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Idrito Gaudiya Maya Namo Lord Kishoraya Vande Bhakti Vinodam Gaurabhyashitashesha
Vaishnavaya Bande Premadi Pinda Vaishnava
Kripa
Panchatattva
Mata Krishna Mata Rupa Swarupata Mata Rupa Namami Mata Saksita
Namo Mahavaraya
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Chaitanya Name Gaura Krishna Namaha
Sarasambi Van Sivatana Sita Sasaviru Pane Gopi Gopina Sije Suna
Vrindaya
Tulasi Priya Krishna Jacha Krishna Pranavini Sajavadya Namo Namaha Mantra Guru Guru Bhagavata Vyasandeva Guru Natma Tatvaya Muriyaye Jaya Sabarika Sri Guru Gauranga Govinda Sundar Parambanja Jasu Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Srila Karalaya Vivaswami Gauravata Vimta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurumar, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya, Srila Bhakti Yoga Maharaj ki jai. Jai Giri Govardhana ki jai. Jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Glory to the assembled devotees. The glory to the worldwide devotees. Lord Premanandi. Hari 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 Mo.
Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj ki jai.
Lord Ananda Krishna Ji.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat devotee.
Jai.
Dandavat Prabhu Haribol. Dandavat Pranadidi Kumadevi.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.
Lord Dhanyavad. Dhanyavad. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Maharaja Acharya Asatana Sata Sri Sripad Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Sri Prapanna-jivanamrtam ki jai. So today we're reading text 4. Verse. Is chapter 8. Surrender and humility. Most important quality, humility. Dainya. Ubuddha Swarupe Vabhava Karpanyam. Parama Karuniko Nabhavet Paraha Parama Sochattamo Chamat Para. Iti Vichintya Hare Mae Pumare Yad Uchitam Yadunatha Tadachara. Humility is a natural symptom of the soul in his awakened state. A sat-cit means a devotee. Buddha Swarupe. Abhava Karpanyam. Interesting. The word Udbuddha, for humility. Submissive intelligence, Generally, when we have intelligence, we try to think of how many different ways we can use it for different purposes. Udbuddha, it means how to use your intelligence and service. Subordinate your intelligence. O Lord Hari, you are the supreme merciful, Parama Karuniko, second to none. And my condition of life is the most lamentable, second to none. O Lord of the Yadu dynasty, consider this, dispense whatever you deem fit for this sinful wretch. Without this quality, it's hard to imagine what kind of mentality a devotee would have if he doesn't have this type of mentality. That Krishna is very merciful and that I am very fallen. With that kind of mood, then surrender is possible. We think we are independent and can go on in our own way, then there's no necessity for praying for mercy or for surrender for that matter. We think we are independent. So the nature of devotee, if he's Krishna or Nityadas, if that is our identity as eternal servants of Krishna, then we must always be mindful and in that mood. Of being subordinate, being used, being utilized by the Supreme Lord for his purposes. And it doesn't mean we don't use our intelligence, but we have to learn how to use our intelligence to serve. And our intelligence is meant for serving him. It is his energy. His intelligence that is guiding everything. try to understand that it's not mine. I and mine. Bhagavatam advises to give up these two misconceptions. I and mine. In this world, everyone is going on under these impressions that I and mine. Huh? Who is not doing that? I and mine. Ahankar, I am the doer, mine. In my property, my possession, my body. Hard to imagine what it's like not to have that conception. By the grace of Krishna, that's possible for the pure devotee. We can't do that on our own. As soon as I say, I can give up my ego. And again, I put myself in that place of the controller. So it's really up to Krishna to help us get to that point. And of course, we have Guru, who is the best help in this case. I approach Guru with a serving mood, submissive serving mood, and said, "Dear Gurudev, how can I serve you? What service do you want of me? How can I please you?" That is the best practice for coming to that status, coming to that mood of surrender and humility. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya. But Krishna advises Tadvidi pranipatena. And pranipatena means in a humble mood, submissive mood, and pariprasna, and inquiring again in a humble mood, searching, endeavoring in a humble way, and sevaya, and service. I think many people come to the Krishna consciousness movement, and they forget about seva. They're more impressed by the society and leave aside the Krishna consciousness. ISKCON, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So Srila once said, they want the International Society, we want the Krishna consciousness. When devotees were dissatisfied with the way things are going on, came to Sridhara and he told like that, you don't want to leave your society, but the higher thing is the Krishna consciousness. Wherever that is, we have to try to aim for that. Very difficult. Very difficult not to follow the society and to follow your own heart. What is the most beneficial for your development of Krishna consciousness? And that sometimes that has to become the predominating driving force, and not so much the society consciousness. That requires a very strong individual, strong faith to make that choice. Text number 5. Maya vasadi vasya mayadisha vipaika katipam naitan manas tava katasu vaikuntanata sampriyate durita dustam asaruti from kamaturam karsha shloka paya aisanlitam tasmin katam tavagatim vimrasa samedinaha. Srila Maharaj. The only hope for the soul enslaved by Maya is the mercy of the master of Maya. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, Maya Dyakshena Prakriti. Maya Dyakshena Prakriti. Maya means mind. This material energy, Prakriti, is very hard to overcome. How you will overcome? My energy. No? What is controlled by God? How can we expect to change that? So only one way, and by Krishna's mercy, he can lift the veil of Maya from his devotees' eyes. So we have to pray to Krishna if we want to be free of Maya. And the mercy of the master of Maya. Controller of Maya is Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhu. All is coming from me, Krishna says. His Maya energy is also coming from him. Maya Shakti. It takes the personal form. In a personal form, it's Maya Devi. But is ultimately controlled by Krishna. Just like we are persons also. But we're not independent. Our personhood, our personality, our behavior, everything is controlled by Krishna.
Maharaj,
Yes, Prabhu.
it's different if Maya Shakti is Yoga Maya?
No. Yoga Maya is in the spiritual world. That is Yoga Maya. Mahamaya is in the material world. In Yoga Maya potency, she bewilders the living entities to think that Krishna is an ordinary person. But Mahamaya, her job is to make the living entities forget Krishna. And they have different functions. So now, Srila Maharaj is giving a verse from Srila Bhakti Saraswati Thakur about how to overcome Maya by Krishna's mercy. Durita dushtavan asadu manasa kama harsha sohabaya e sanarvasa tavakata rati kise haiba amar kise Krishna tava lila haribo vichar. sinful, wicked mind full of evil thought, lusting, laughing, crying, fearing, and worldly search is caught. O Krishna, how will I develop attachment to talks of you? How will I ever comprehend your pastimes ever new? Huh? That is very nice rhyming poetry here. Sinful, wicked mind full of evil thought, lusting, laughing, crying, fearing, and worldly search is caught. O Krishna, how will I develop attachment to talks of you? How will I ever comprehend your pastimes ever new? Krishnamukhi, this is the next verse, text 6. Krishnamukhi chite bhada avasya durvidasa parichaya vivaikato chutta vikarsati mavitripa mavitripa Shishon Nyatas Twag Udaran Shavanam Kutastit Ganon Nyatas Chapala Drik Ka Kamat Satir Payuva Sapnya Eva Kaya Patim Sunat Lunati Prahlad Maharaja. A game of misfortune, an adverse mentality in the heart aspiring to serve Krishna. They're saying here, it's a misfortune to those who are playing with misfortune, who have the mentality, adverse mentality, who don't want to serve, who don't want to aspire to serve Krishna. And it becomes a game of misfortune. And again, Saraswati Thakur's poem, Jiva Tane Rasa Prati Upasta Kadarte Udara Bhojana Tane Visamma Anarte Karma Tane Layadite Shravana Katai Grana Tane Surabite Chakshu Disaya Karmendriya Karme Tane Bahu Patni Yata Nihapati Karasyai Mora Mana Tata E Mata Swasta Dora Mora Srinandanandana Ki Rupe Tamara Lila Kariba Ama Smaran. Dragged by the tongue toward a taste, by genitals to perversions. Needlessly, the belly craves lavish food consumption. The skin demands luxurious comforts. The ear demands sweet talks. The nose demands sweet fragrance, as the eye for scenery looks. Like a man with many wives, displayed by their demands, thus the mind is dragged by the senses' commands. Oh, dear son of Nanda, this is my situation. How will your sweet pastime be my heart's contemplation? Having verse. Living entity thinks that his senses are for to get over, for exploiting the material nature. Huh? He thinks he's in charge with his senses. He can now take over things. and he becomes the center of his sense enjoyment. Prabhupada used to call it sense gratification. You have so many senses, 5 senses, and you want to gratify yourself with those senses. But that living entity doesn't realize that he is not the controller of the senses. The senses are the controller of him or her. They are dragging the living entity here and there. Bhagavad Gita says the mind is higher than the senses. And higher than the mind is the intelligence, and higher than the intelligence is the soul, the self. But it becomes reversed in the material world. The senses become the highest thing. The mind is controlled by this, is no longer in control, and is dragged by the senses into so many, and pursuing so many senses, sensuous stimulations, pleasantries. And the intelligence is thus lost. And one becomes involved in overeating, greed, lust, and they're carried down to a lower life existence of life, quality of life. Because they do not understand how the reverse should be the case. How the mind should be in charge of the senses, the intelligence in charge of the mind, and a self higher than that. But you know, I mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita about the inverted tree. Spiritual tree is appearing in this material world upside down. Everything here is upside down. The roots are going up and the branches are going down, like that. So the self is the root, but it's being dragged down by the senses, all the branches. Okay? In the spiritual world, the self is there, but the senses are going up. They're bringing us higher into the plane of dedication and service and love. The self is becoming elevated, exalted. And is explaining the adversity towards service. The mentality of adversity towards service produces this inversion of the real position of the living entity and his senses. Instead of happiness, one becomes distress. Text number 7. Purushottam seva partino bhaktasya nija yogata nivedanam matuyarasti prapatam prapatma naparadi nakashchana parihare pilajame kembruve purushottama. The regretful submission of incompetence by the devotee who aspires for the service of the Supreme Lord, Supreme Person. There's no parallel to my sinful criminal life. Everything that can be conceived of as bad is found in me. O Supreme Lord, I'm even ashamed to come before you to petition. Please forgive my offense. What more can I say than this? This is absence of ego. The meaning of giving up the ego. I don't have anything. Without your mercy, I am nothing. Zero, zilch, nada. Only your mercy. It's my only will, my only hope. Your mercy. That's it. Your mercy stick, the mercy stick of the devotees. I can't remember the Bengali or Sanskrit verse, but one verse that says, my dear Lord, the path is difficult and I am blind. Mungo karoti vachalam. Another verse, but something like that. The path is difficult and I am blind. And my feet, they are slipping again and again. I'm constantly falling down again and again. But you, O Lord, but the mercy of you, my Lord, and devotees is the only stick that is holding me up. By your mercy, by the stick of your mercy, by your mercy stick, I am able to get up and go on. Without that stick of mercy of the devotees, I am blind and I am stumbling. I can only blindly stumble on with no direction, no hope, no purpose. So your stick of mercy is necessary if I am to make my way. As you get older, sometimes it's hard to walk. And if you have a stick or a cane, then it makes it possible. What's that? You found the verse?
Chaitanya Charitamrita.
What is it?
Durgami pati mendasya skalat padagater muhu svakripa yasti dhanena shanta sandbhava lambanam.
Let me see. Mercy. Durgame patime nyasya skalat padagater muhu svakripa yasti dhanena shantavalambanam. Have you heard that verse before? Beautiful verse. What chapter is that in?
Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya 1.2.
Good. Very beautiful verse. Hare Krishna. Perfect mentality. Or a surrendered soul. Text number 8. Mangalam Naya Bhagavan Namabase Prapinam Atma Tikaraha Vachaham Kitva Papo Brahma Gano Nirapatra Nirapatrapaha Vakchanarajinetyetan Bhagavan Nama Mangalam Ajamil. The sinful revile themselves when they are exposed to a mere facsimile of the all-auspicious holy name of the Lord, Namabas. Who am I? A cheater, a sinner, a defiler of my Brahminical status, a shameless wretch. What is my position in comparison to this holy name of the Lord Narayan, the embodiment of all auspiciousness? When one realizes the preciousness of the holy name, the real significance of the holy name, real spiritual, transcendental significance of the holy name, and immediately he feels this humility in comparison or reference to that. How divine, how sweet, how pure, how high, how sublime that is. And I am sunk in such wretchedness and foolishness and ignorance in this material world for so long, because there's nothing in this world that can compare to the divinity of the holy name. The holy name is not a sound vibration of this world. And a pure transcendental sound that descends to this world. It doesn't come. It is not uttered from this plane. The name has its own potency, its own personality. And he comes of his own accord to dance on the tongue of his devotee. Pure devotee doesn't think he is chanting the name, but the name is being chanted through his tongue by the grace of the Lord. The name descends. Hare Krishna. That is, one has the privilege of chanting the name. That is already Krishna's grace. Just remembering Krishna's name is already Krishna's grace. Not for everyone can do that. Sri Bhagavan Kripodaye Prabhabandhunam Daridryam Apina Varakam. Text number 9. Vaham Daridra Papiyan Va Krishna Shri Niketana Brahmabandhur iti Maham Bahubhyam Parmabhitaha Sudama. The Lord's mercy does not consider the disqualification of even a fallen Brahmin. I am the most sinful and destitute, so who am I compared to Krishna, the shelter of the goddess of fortune? He knew I was the unqualified son of a Brahmin, but nonetheless he embraced me. Indeed, this is most astonishing. So this is the words of Sudama Brahman in the Bhagavatam. Prabhupada used to tell us that don't try to see Krishna. Don't try to see Krishna. He said, you act in such a way that Krishna will want to come and embrace you. That Krishna will want to come to you. That is the way. Otherwise, if you try to go to Krishna, you can become Sahaja. They don't want to do that. So the safe process, just try to please Guru, Krishna, Vaishnava, to serve them. And when Krishna sees his devotee is so pleasing to him, he will come. He will come and embrace his devotee. And he's so affectionate to his devotee that he wants to take the dust from the devotee's feet and put it on his head. That kind of humility can draw the Lord's affection. And text number 10, Vidatur api hari sambandhi pashvari janma partana. Rastu menata sabpurivago abetra vanyatra tuvatriyaskam triyaskam inhaham eko ti bhagavaji chandanam bhuttvani seve tava parapalavam. This is from Lord Brahma. Even the universal creator Brahma prays to be born as an animal or a bird, if that is conducive to the service of the Lord Hari. Here's a verse by Srila Bhakti Yoga on this topic. Hey Brahma janme va anya kona bhave pashu pakshi haya janmi tomara vibhave. Hey matra ashra tava bhakta ganarange taki tava para eva kari nana raga. In this life as Lord Brahma or in any other place, if I am born as a beast or bird, that will be your grace. My only aspiration is to be with your servitors and in your pastimes serve your lotus feet as one of your attendants. Pratishta. Pratishta means position. Pratishta. To think that I am a human being is a pratishta. The soul, more than just a human being. Animals also have souls. All living entities have souls. Soul can take any form. So to identify with a particular form, that is to take a position in this material world. Only position the devotee wants is as the servant at the lotus feet of Krishna. Whatever other bodily form, whatever form that may take, as long as he is the servant of Krishna in that form, that is the main thing. Quite wonderful, huh? Like we were saying before, above the senses, senses means you have a certain kind of body. Dogs have senses also. Alligators have senses. Insects have senses. So whatever type of body we have, that's the senses. The mind is more important. How much is developed is our mind, is our thoughts, our understanding of things. And the intelligence more than that. How discriminating are we? And then the self. It's higher yet. more subtle. That's transcendental to all the other things. So the spiritual practices, the spiritual process, is to bring us to that higher sense of self. Not to keep us, maintain us in the other levels. Whether one is very intelligent or not very intelligent, that's a material consideration. But if one has surrendered his heart to Krishna, to Gurudev, that is the most exalted position. And one is sure to overcome all the different types of, what do you want to call it, incarnations or transmigrations that the soul is trapped in this material world. Okay, I think we'll stop. We'll stop here.
Maharaj, beautiful chapter. 80 beautiful chapter.
Sridhar Maharaj has collected all these beautiful verses to bring to us those ideals that are revealed in the scriptures by the devotees, by Krishna, by the Vedas. There's so many high ideals. They're there, waiting for us to read, to hear, and also to try to aspire for. We doubt it's hard to put that into practice, but at least we can hear about them and try to inspire us to go in that proper direction and pointing us in the proper direction. And by some grace, we can be raised to that level by the mercy of the Lord and his devotees. And that is our greatest benediction in life. Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakshak Dev-Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Jai.
Jai Srila Prabhupada, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Acharya, Srila Shantamaz, Srila Rupanuga Gardvarga Ki Jai.
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 Jai. Kiri Govardhan Ki Jai.
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 Oh, Premanandi Hari Hari.
Hari Hari Bol.
I am Vishnupad Paramahamsa Sripad Bhakti Madhava Puri Maharaj Ki Jai.
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 Well, be well, be safe, be happy. My love to you, my affection to you.
धन्यवाद प्रणाम महाराज धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु
Dandava Pranam Maharaj. I love you.
You.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.